Hey, look at that. James A. Janice from Dead Meat made a new video. Nice. Oh, yeah, you came here for the Poultrygeist review. So, anyways, yeah. Poultrygeist is a wild movie. Wilder than a Toxic Avenger. And even the name alone should make you guess what movie they're parodying. It is about a KFC built on top of you guessed it, an Indian burial ground. Now, when I say this movie is wild, I say it is. Like, literally, the first scene in the movie is like two teenagers shagging in the woods. I mean, shagging in the cemetery. I'm using shagging because, I'm British. And no, and then an axe murderer comes out, and then if you thought this movie couldn't get more wild, an axe murderer comes out, and then the girl is like, "Oh no!" Who's called Wendy? The girl's called Wendy, and the boy, our main character, is called Arby. Get it? Cause Wendy. This is a movie about making fun of fast food. Wendy, as in the Wendy's girl, and Arby, as in Arby's, the roast beef guy that everybody makes fun of because her food tastes terrible. Anyway, anyways, the axe murderer comes by, and then Wendy says, "Oh no! Oh no, he's got something in his hand." And then no, and then RB says, "Yeah, he's got an axe." And she says, "No, the other hand." And then he's jerking off to them, jerking off. He's jerking off to RB and Wendy doing it. And then RB is like, "Thanks, man, you ruined it." And then the dude picks up the pair of Wendy's underwear and he's like, he sniffs it and he's like, "Ugh." And then he sniffs RB and then he starts jerking off to the smell of RB's underwear. And then a zombie hand goes through the axe murderer's bum hole, goes through his body, out his mouth, grabs a pair of Arby's underwear, then goes back in and kills the dude. Oh yeah, that's how the movie starts out. That's how the movie starts out, people. Yeah, yeah, and don't worry, there's more after that. There's more after that because it's a life-changing journey. And how do I know it's a life-changing journey? It's a musical. Yes, a musical. It's a musical. Yeah, anyways, this movie, I already said this before, I'll say it again. This movie's wild. And this movie is just moment after moment after moment after moment. And it's like, oh shoot, I remember that scene. And the next one is another iconic scene. Then after that iconic scene, it's an even more iconic scene. Then after that, it's a less known iconic scene. Then it's another iconic scene. That's the whole movie. So if you see a bunch of clips, you're kind of not missing out, actually. And all yeah, and this movie, I think in my opinion, has to be like the goriest trauma movie I've ever seen. And it was all under 1 million. And it was made I think like half a million. Like this movie was made at like half a million. And this movie when it came out in theaters didn't do so well, but when it came out on home video, it did surprisingly well. And that's like one of the reasons why, and that's like probably the reason why Trauma, decided to go make home releases instead of doing theatrical like in the olden days. Like right now, they don't make any more theatrical movies. They make home video releases now. And if any of you are saying, how are you gonna do all the trauma movies? No, I'm only gonna do I'm only gonna do trauma movies from the first trauma movie all the way to Return to Nukem High Volume 2. The reason why is because after that, it's just trauma movies releasing on DVD, and those movies I can't find them anywhere on Tubi. And I kind of need Tubi because I don't need to pay for the movies to watch them, and I don't have a lot of money on me. Even though I just made a video about me making a video about Puss in Boots, I don't have a lot of money on me, so I don't want to spend it on trauma movies. I'm just gonna watch for a review, and probably not gonna watch it for fun. These movies, I don't think anyone wants to watch them for fun. Anyways, back to zombie chicken movie. So yeah, instead of KFC, it's the American Chicken Bunker, and instead of a Colonel Sanders, we get a Colonel. How do you say it? Colonel Leroy. Instead of Colonel Sanders, you get Lieutenant Leroy, or was it Major Leroy? I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen the movie in like 2 days. I haven't seen the movie in like 2 days. I already forgot. And yeah, this movie's in some of the movie's jokes and dialogue. This isn't just through gore and raunchy humor. It's also, you know how it goes. Like Peter Piper picked a pack of peppers. Like those sayings, those tongue twisters. Like Peter Piper picked a pack of peppers. You know those tongue twisters. Yeah, they have it in this movie. They have it in this movie, like what in the name of American? What in the name of American conglomerate chicken bucket? American flipping chicken bunkers going on here? Like that's how it's going on here. And there's also like very random like dialogue in this movie too. Like Wendy is like where Danny is like, oh yeah, we just contracted a new cashier lady. You know, like a new cashier lady. His name was Arby or something, and is the retarded kid named Arby. And then when it's like Arby, cashier girl, retarded, and then she jumps very. Yeah, Wendy is also funny in this movie. Not just Arby, but like everyone's funny in this movie. Even Pablo, who turns out to be a sandwich for reasons I don't want to say. I already said something bad, so here we go. So Pablo decides to jerk off into the chicken processor where we eat, and then after he does so, and after he blows his wad off in the chicken processor, a broom pushes him, and then we get to see him go inside the processor, and then he turns into grinded meat, and then he turns into a sandwich. And yeah, the employees in this chicken bunker are wild. Like, there's a dude who likes to, do it to the dead chicken that they serve to customers, And then one of those chickens becomes alive and starts biting his his nether regions. And then the Indian, Dagestani, and then the Arabian lady, shoves a broom up the guy's bumhole and then goes through his dick, and then he just walks around with a giant broomstick at the end is the very tip of his nether region. Yeah, this movie is wild out of all the scenes that I just described to you. So what am I gonna give this rating for? I already said so many crazy scenes in this movie that I think you might want to go on Tubi and watch it. What am I positive with this movie? The positive with the movie is that even though, I don't like musicals, but I'll make this an exception here because the songs here are so hilariously written. Well, except for the part where she sings about Arby. I'm just joking. Every song here is amazing. Another thing I like about this movie is, the special effects in Trauma are really great. I mean, practical effects. They always seem so realistic that it makes me want to puke. And this movie almost succeeded in making me puke. Another reason why I'm giving it a point is because the movie's funny. Even I already told you a bunch of disturbing scenes in it. Why not top it off with cherry on top from being hilarious? And the last quarter and the third act of the movie is nuts. Like every single chicken zombie Indian goes into the store and start devouring everyone. By that I mean they feast on humans. The chickens feast on humans, so the humans feasting on the chickens. And how do they feast on them? They put their heads in a deep fryer. They take breast implants out, and of course they fry and eat it. And they take the balls off, and they take groins off and boil them as well, and they eat them. And all in the process of lesbian zombie chickens making out. And also, there's no happy ending in this movie. All it is, so Arby and Wendy are in a car. They're like, oh man, that was traumatizing, but at least I'm glad it's over. And then the little girl that they save at the end lays an egg, and they're like, and then the car crashes while Poultrygeist by Calamari Safari, which is a song that I sang in the last video. They die. Yep. There's no happy ending here. It's not miserable. It's like a hilarious bad ending. And and even though I just said this is my favorite trauma movie, there is a scene like the character of Hummus is not my favorite character because this movie came out post 9/11, and this movie all her character is that, oh no, she might be an active terrorist and she's Arabian, and that kind of makes me unqueasy. That makes me kind of unqueasy, more unqueasier than the almost realistic practical effects. See, I'm giving this movie a 9 out of 10. Really amazing movie. It's fun to watch. If you have a strong stomach, I highly recommend this movie if you're a trauma fan. But if you have a weak stomach, then don't watch it then. Anyways, that was my review of Poultrygeist. Next up, I'm going to make a review of Romeo and Juliet, the movie that started James Gunn's directing career. Stay tuned.